Hey crafty friends, it's Heidi Scott with DIY Dreaming. I hope you're having a wonderful day. On this video tutorial, we're going to talk about what happens to me, because it probably happens to you every year around Christmas time. And my idea of how to improve that for the upcoming Christmas season by getting organized. So as you're hopping on, say hello. I would love to see who's watching. Let me know where you're watching from. Feel free to sprinkle, ask questions, all that good stuff. Okay, so today I'm going to show you how to make a Christmas notebook, and we're going to use Decoupage. We're going to be using some Mod Podge. We're going to be using some pages out of this dictionary that I picked up at my local Goodwill a couple months ago. And then we're going to be using some Dollar Tree composition notebooks. And I'm going to tell you what does work and what does not work, because I have learned the very hard way absolutely what you must not do. So we're going to do some Mod Podge, then we're going to do a little stenciling, and then we're going to just add a little ribbon to our notebooks so that we can, stay organized. And yeah, it should be really good. Okay, well, let's start at the very beginning. I don't know how many of you guys have ever Mod Podged before. My guess is that lots of you have. My personal favorite kind of Mod Podge is matte Mod Podge, but you can also get it in glossy. You can also get it in an antique formulation that makes everything look slightly yellowish or older. And then they have other formulations. You can also make your own Mod Podge. Just ask Mr. Google for a recipe to make homemade Mod Podge, and Mr. Google knows how to do it. He can tell you, I'm sure. Mod Podge can be a little bit on the pricier side. This came from Hobby Lobby and it was $5.99. You can also get Mod Podge at Dollar Tree in a much smaller bottle. Okay, so as far as the notebooks go, this is the part that is the most important. The first one I used a notebook that looks like this from Dollar Tree. It was in their school section. It's like a cardboard, kind of brown craft paper color with the words Good Vibes on the front and Good Vibes on the back. It's got a nice thick cover, and this worked perfect. Then the next one I did worked great, but not as great as the first one, and I'll show you why. And it was this one. And it's very similar. The only difference is that this has a slightly thinner front cover, and it has a very busy pattern that you're going to be covering with your paper, and it's more difficult. Okay, this is the kind of notebook, composition notebook, that I have actually written notes and stuff in, but that you should not purchase for this project. Let me come up close. And the reason why you should not purchase this style is because it has this thin, plasticky cover, front and back, and nothing is going to stick to it forever. So I did a Mod Podge project on this, and after opening it up a few times, the Mod Podge started to peel up, and I finally just ripped the whole entire thing off. So if you're going to do a Mod Podge project, you want to look for a notebook, if possible. You can get these at Dollar Tree, at any office supply, at your grocery store, Target, Walmart, everywhere, Dollar Tree. You want to look for one that's got a nice thick front and back cover, nice and sturdy, and that has the least amount of busyness happening on it, because you want to remember that you're going to be covering it, and you don't want all this crazy everything to be poking through. Okay, so that's my advice on notebooks. If you could get one that ideally that was just this brown craft paper with nothing on it, that would be the absolute best. But don't buy anything that is slick or like plastic, because your Mod Podge is not going to stay attached to it. Okay, so I'm going to put this one aside, and I want to show you the one that I made. Then we're going to actually do it, and then I have one underway that we'll work on too. Okay, so this is the first one that I made. I did it with the brown craft paper style notebook from Dollar Tree. I took one piece, just one piece of this Webster's New International Dictionary page, and that was all it took to cover what was underneath. So I did one layer of Mod Podge, I put my paper down, I did one more layer of Mod Podge. Then I used my clear matte sealer to do one coat on top of it before I stenciled, and I'll show you that process in just a minute. And then I did one more coat on top of it to keep it so it will stay on there forever. And this is chalk paste and a stencil from Magnolia Design Company, and dang, I forgot to do links. So if you want links to look at any of the Christmas stuff or chalk paste or anything else from Magnolia, just say link in the comments and I'll get you one when I'm all finished. So, and I am going to be giving this one away. I'll tell you all about that in the next video after this one. I'm also going to be making this one and giving this one away too. Okay, so this is our ideal Christmas notebook. And like I said before, this is our not quite as ideal notebook. And what I did here, obviously we're not finished with it, but I did the one piece of the dictionary sheet on it, and you could still see the spots. So then I just cut up another piece of a dictionary, and I Mod Podged it winky wonky over the top. And I was able to get good coverage so you can't see all this craziness, okay? And once it is dry, I took it outside and I sprayed it with this. And I'm gonna show you how I just trimmed. It's pretty easy, or it was anyways with the other one, to trim the excess off. I need my glasses. So how is everyone doing today? I've been doing this week a few Christmas projects, which has reminded me of how I normally feel about the week of Christmas, which is I feel overwhelmed, unorganized. There's always 10 more things that I haven't gotten done that are of the utmost importance that prevent me from really settling back and experiencing the meaning of Christmas, because I'm just so harried trying to get everything accomplished that I haven't gotten accomplished before that week before Christmas. So this year I just decided I'm gonna get organized. I'm a paper person. Tell me in the comments if you are too, because I think some of it might just be my generation. I like to make lists. In fact, I do usually write a list every single day. And sometimes, I'll confess this to you, sometimes I'll put something on my list and cross it off after I've already done it. Just because there's something satisfying about writing down your list and crossing things off. So with that in mind, I love lists, I love planning, I love paper. I mean, that's one of the reasons why I love having my amazing, wonderful paper Bible that I write in. So yeah, I'm seeing from Dixie, from Liz, from Stacy, from Sheila, that you guys love lists too. Okay, maybe it's our generation, or I don't know, maybe it comes from being, you know, a mother or a caretaker. I'm not sure why it is, but I just rely on a list every day. So, and I've never had an organized list for Christmas. I don't know why not. I mean, I'll still do my everyday thing, which you could do in this notebook. You can see that I'm just trimming around the edge of it. I do like the other style better that just has the one piece of vintage paper on it. You could use hymnal music. You could use scrapbook paper. I'm using this Webster's Third New International Dictionary paper, and I'll show you why in just a second. I do have a lot of other old books and things that I could have used. See, that's pretty easy to get it off. And it looks just fine. The reason why I chose this, as opposed to some other books that I have, is because the print is pretty light. So I felt like you would be able to see the design that I'm putting on it well. Rather than if I had something with a really big print, this also has a little print. If I use something with a really big print that, you know, that was going to be distracting from the decoration of the notebook. So that's why I used this. And you can find great books, that kind of thing, at libraries that are, you know, getting rid of some of their book collections, at garage sales, at thrift stores, or maybe you even have something just hanging around collecting dust that you could use. Okay, so this has been sprayed with one coat of clear matte sealer, and we're going to stencil it in just a minute, but before we do that, I want to get this one started right here, okay? So I'm going to be crafting on one of my cake boards, and like I said, we're using this Mod Podge. You can use glossy, antique, dishwasher safe. They even have that, although I don't know why you would want to use dishwasher safe Mod Podge for this project, but or you can even make a recipe. It's mostly Elmer's or white school glue with water is how you make it. Okay, so I'm going to just use a foam brush, and I'm liberally going to be coating the front of my notebook, and I'm going to try as much as possible not to paint too much over this line right here. I'll lift it up in just a second and show you. And you want to take it all the way out to the edges. We're going to put it on thick, and then we'll smooth it around a little bit before we put our paper on. One of my favorite Mod Podge projects that we did recently here at DIY Dreaming was these seashells. I'll have to reach behind me and grab one and show it to you in just a second. Okay, so I'm just smoothing it out a little bit. And as much as possible, I'm trying not to paint over this black binding on the edge. Oh, here are my seashells. These were some Mod Podge projects that we did as well. They turned out super cute. For these, we used napkins and that plain clear matte Mod Podge. Okay, I pulled some pages out of my book, and then I cut straight. And I'm just looking to see, are there any really objectionable words or bugs or something creepy that I wouldn't want on the front of my notebook, and I don't see anything. So I just cut straight up and down right along the edge of where the words were. I mean, it's not perfect, but it doesn't have to be perfect. And I'm going to lay it down and manipulate it just a little bit to get it on here. And then I'm just going to start smoothing it outward. And it is gonna, when the paper gets wet, it's gonna wanna kind of do a little bubbly thing. I don't know why it does that, it just does. So you might have to pick it up and lay it back down, and pick it up and lay it back down a few times. And you may have to add a little bit more Mod Podge. You just want to get it on there as smooth as you can. And then you're just feeling, to feel where are there any big bubbles or creases. Okay, that's what it looks like. You can see how it hangs over the edge of the book. All right, so then the next thing is to do one more whole coat of Mod Podge over the top of the entire thing. And I'm gonna put it on kind of thick, and then I'm gonna sort of pull it off. What I have found working with Mod Podge is that if you leave it on in too thick of puddles anywhere, when it dries, it looks sort of foggy or cloudy or something. So you don't want any super thick puddles of it anywhere. Oh no, have you guys been able to see? I hope so. So I'm just pulling off some of the like really thick bits. Yeah, I think you can see. If these comments are in your way, if you're watching this on Facebook, you should be able to swipe them either left or right or up or down to get them to disappear. If you're watching this on YouTube, you shouldn't have that problem at all. And if you didn't know that I have a YouTube channel, I do. And if there's a specific video you're wanting to find, a project that you saw or heard something about, that is one of the easier ways to find what you might be looking for, because on YouTube I have playlists. And so if you want to look at all the videos that I've done in the last 3 or 4 years on DIY flowers, you would just choose that playlist. And then when it opens, you would be able to see all the videos that I've made from that time. Okay, I got a little bit of it on the spine, which is pretty common for me. So I'm just gonna take a wipe. This happens to be an antibacterial wipe. And I'm just pulling up where I went over just a little bit. Okay, so that is pretty much what you're gonna do for this first step. And you can see I don't have any really super thick puddles. I have the whole entire thing covered. It does go beyond the edge of the book, but when it's all dry, we'll trim that back, and then I would spray it with my clear matte sealer. It can be any brand, you just want a clear matte sealer. All right, now the next step is to decide what you want on your little Christmas journal. And while we're doing this next step, let's talk about what you could put in here and how this would be helpful. So on this one, I did the Ho 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 stencil from Magnolia, which is part of their Christmas stuff. If you're watching this live, these stencils just became available from the vault that Magnolia has of stencils from last year. And when I'm all finished, I'll get you some links. Okay, so just say link in the comments if you want a link for the chalk paste that we're going to use, or the stencils, or anything else. Okay, so I was thinking I have 2 choices. I could use this adorable little Christmas cheer stencil, Or I could use one of these Joy, Love, Peace ornament stencils. So I think for this project, I'm going to use this one. And for the other one that I make, I'll use one of those. Okay, first thing you always want to do with your stencils is you want to label what's on the back of them with a Sharpie. It's important that you put your stencils back on the correct side of the backing sheet. Yeah, so the other thing is these stencils are super sticky, these green ones, and so they're going to need to be fuzzed a couple times when you're very first using them, unless you're first using them on fabric. That's the only time you wouldn't want to fuzz them. So I could fuzz these on my t-shirt, I could fuzz them on a pair of jeans, a pair of khakis, I could fuzz them on a low lint tea towel, or you can fuzz them on this fuzzing towel that Magnolia has. You just lay your stencil on it a couple, 3, 4 times and press it down and then pick it up. What happens if you don't do that? Let me tell you that. Well, these are sticky and sometimes they could pull your paper up, or you could have a difficult time removing them, and when you're trying to pull it up, you could stretch your stencil, which doesn't ruin it, but it causes it to be a little bit curled. So, if possible, you don't want that to happen. Okay, and I'm just putting this sort of towards the top. I'm not 100% certain how it's going to turn out because of the fact that this is bumpier, because I had to layer. Thank you for all the little emojis, Lisa, and thank you for sprinkling. I really appreciate that. So we're going to use red and black chalk paste, and just going to stir them up. I just ordered a new pot this morning of red chalk paste. I did not realize I was down to the last little bits. All right, so I'm thinking that we'll do Christmas cheer and loading in black, and then we'll do the ornaments in red. That's what my plan was. And I'm going to be hoping that the fact that this is a little bit bumpy is not a problem. Yeah. Okay, I've got my red on. Now I'm just going to grab some black with a little cut apart squeegee. And so, okay, so what would you put in a Christmas notebook? You know, and the thing is, you don't have to make one of these special Christmas notebooks to have a Christmas notebook and to get organized, but it makes it more fun, I think. And it makes it more likely that I'll actually use it if it's cute and something fun that I made. Okay, so I would obviously put my Christmas shopping list of everybody that I have to buy for, family, friends, you know, for different, whatever, different things that I might be needing to purchase Christmas gifts for. I would put that in it. I would also, you know, we're trying, I'm always saying that I'm frugal. And as frugal as I am, my husband's even more frugal. He just has always been that way. And we're trying not to, sometimes I feel like when you spend a lot of money on your Christmas stockings, that you're, you know, it's a lot of stuff that nobody really wants. So I'm going to be more, oh, this is cute, more deliberate about the items that we put in our Christmas stockings. Oh my gosh, this is super cute. Okay, I'm gonna throw this guy in a little tub of water over here. So I would do all my Christmas presents that I'm gonna need to buy and try to really think about everything. How many gifts do I want to get for each person, and what do I want them to be? Look how cute that turned out. That is adorable. Christmas cheer. This stencil is super cute. I'm going to put some menu ideas or foods that I know for sure that I want to have at some point during the holidays. I'm going to also list some baking ideas. I don't know if you like to bake Christmas goodies and that kind of thing, but you know, just anywhere in your notebook, you can start like your mind thinking about those kind of things. And I'm going to put together some ideas for getting together with friends. I'm going to start a list of everyone that we'll be sending Christmas cards to. I'm going to make a list of what I want to do for decorating, and if there are items that I need, you know, get that list started. You can journal in here what your thoughts are about Christmas. If you're a big sale shopper and you like Black Friday or Cyber Monday or any of those things, and you're going to be on the hunt for different things, you could put that in your notebook. So there's just tons of different things that you could put in here. And what I did at the back of the other one, I'll show you, was I just took some ribbon from Dollar Tree, but use whatever you like, and a piece of tape. I taped it on the inside of the back cover. I'll show you. So that when I'm using my notebook, I can have this divider organizer. So what do you guys think? Do you like this idea? You know, I think it would be great to write down any Christmas prayers that you have, thoughts that you have. If there's, well, there are so many meaningful Bible verses, but just, you know, your faith, thoughts. And I think it would be kind of neat to make something like this every year. And then over the years to go back and look and say, oh my gosh, I made that Southern Living 7-layer cake in 2018 and everyone loved it. I'm gonna do it again. So I think it would be fun to have a bunch of these and to just kind of record what you need to do to prepare for Christmas. And then the idea is that the week of Christmas, you're not running around like a crazy person with your head cut off, trying to get those last little things that you feel like you absolutely gotta get. Because you're organized, you started during the fall thinking about it. It's still summer now, but you know, you started a few months early thinking about what you wanted, and you can get some of that taken care of in advance. So I will be coming back live in just a few minutes to tell you about these and to tell you about these adorable pillows that we made yesterday. Did you see this video? Using the Mrs. Claus Bake Shop stencil. Is that adorable or what? That was one, and this is the other one, which I think I have decided not to add any further decoration to it, but to let the recipient dress it up however they might want to do that. So I'll be back again live in a few minutes to talk about giving these away and about that Christmas vault that I was telling you about a few minutes ago. If you have questions, just let me know. Look how adorable that Christmas cheer stencil is. Super cute. And then I love this ho ho ho. And then I was thinking to do probably this one that says joy. This ornament on the other book. Yeah, So I hope you guys liked this project. I hope it inspired you to get thinking a little bit. I know it's way early right now, but to get thinking about what your goals are for Christmas this year and how you want to be feeling that week of Christmas. And then let a book like this, a $1 book from, you know, nothing special, but these came from Dollar Tree. Let that assist you in making Christmas what you want it to be this year. So Carol says that's a great idea. Thank you. Appreciate that. Now, if you want links to the Christmas stencils, to the chalk paste, to those pillows, or the ink that we used on those, or anything else, just let me know in the comments. You can say link. If you're watching this on YouTube, you can do the same thing too. And I will get right back to you with that. Let me turn this around so that you can do a screenshot if you would like. And then I will say goodbye. I will finish up the rest of my projects. Pull this up just a little bit. And off camera, I will take this one, it's drying nicely. I'll take it outside when it's fully dry and I'll spray it with 1 coat of clear matte sealer. Then I'll trim the excess off the edges. Then I'll do the stencil with chalk paste. And then I'll spray it 1 more time, and I'll get pictures of this one for you to see as well. So thanks for joining me, everyone. Do a this or a this. Feel free to sprinkle. Let me know your questions. And I will see you guys later. Okay, I see a great question from Kathy Ditmore asking, do I do the back? Well, you certainly could, and that would make it even cuter. And so when I give these away, I will probably include some paper, some of this same paper, so that whoever receives them can finish the back up if they would like to. Thank you for asking that question and helping me to think about that. Hey Lisa, how are you doing? I see my sister-in-law is on. Alrighty everyone, have a wonderful rest of your day, and I will see you later. I'll get pictures. I'll put those here in the comments as well as just on DIY Dreaming. See you soon.